If you do not know me, I am Himi, and like a year or two ago, I did a wonderful sponsored stream where I spent like an hour instead of actually playing the game talking about Lymantria dispar, which I am more than a little obsessed with. I originally wanted to animate this thinking it can't be that long, it'll take a little while, like 15 minutes is a really long time, but I could do 15 minutes, and I did not realize it was an hour. Instead of letting it, sit there in a video or a stream VOD from ages ago, I figured it'd be fun to just kind of pop it in its own thing, and if you want to sit down and just have some background noise of an extreme bug nerd talking about their favorite invasive species for an hour, this might be for you. I hope you enjoy it, even if it's not made of silly drawings, and I promise I will have silly drawings soon. Okay, enjoy moths. Rocks and moths. You do not want to get me started on moths. I will talk your ear off for like 4 hours about moths. Like, if you've seen me in a collab with Plum Pickled, you understand. You understand. If you saw the onsen building, you understand. Moths. The one that I'm hyper-focused on both of them, but the one that I'm mainly focusing on for my research for what I'm working on is the European one. This is a spongy moth, Lymantria dispar. I am currently working on a documentary about this. I have been talking to a lot of really wonderful people. I've done so much research. I have 50 pages of notes about this thing. Moths are adorable, and I love moths. The problem with Lymantria dispar is that it's one of the most invasive species in the world. This bad boy originated in Europe, and there is an European variant and an Asian variant. The one that has invaded North America is the European variant. Actually looks cute. It is. They're fluffy. I want like a stuffed moth toy. I want one. It looks like it's so huggable. I might do that. I can do this. I can make a stuffed moth. Oh, I could do there's a very specific kind of wire that I could totally use to make the antenna. I have ideas, but this is a super invasive species. It was introduced into America in the 1800s in Boston, Massachusetts it depends on how you characterize him. It really depends on how you characterize this guy. Because if you read the book, The Great Gypsy Moth War, the author in that goes on to describe Leopold Trouvelot as a very sweet guy who never wanted to hurt anything he was experimenting with and was just so sweet and just a nice guy. But from what I've gleaned from talking to entomologists, he is also Leopold Trouvelot is just that dingus who shipped moths to America and did not keep a close enough eye on them. Because he was experimenting with moth production, silk production, because due to what was going on at the time in America, supply lines were kind of ravaged, and they needed to find something to make cloth out of. He did not actually only have Lymantria dispar, he had other moths there as well. Lymantria was the one that flew out the window, and it's now why it is invasive. And in a lot of US states, there is a national program called the Slow the Spread program, and I'm going to give you a lecture about moths. You have to stop me. I will just talk about this for hours. It's a problem. Nobody wants to hear me talk about moths anymore. It's terrible. Bless. I have gone through so much research about this freaking moth. I liked it beforehand. I do a radio show where I talk about animals, for college stuff. And I discovered this moth as a result of that. I was because normally what I'd do is I'd pick an animal of the week, I'd research it, and I'd talk about it. Animal facts, scientific facts, anything in the news about it. Because, in South Africa one year, there was a honey badger that was found in the carpool, the taxi pool lane, and they took him back, healed him up, put him back in the wild, so he can't live out his Midwest emo dreams. But, news about them, where you can go to find them in our area, just general, information about different animals. What I would do to pick them is I would just go up to our library, and I would just look at the animal section and, what looks fun? So, I did the striped hyena, I've did like the platypus. Like it was so much fun. One day I went, man, I guess moths would be a fun topic. I won't pick a specific one, I don't think, but I'll just grab some moth books and see where this leads me. And then I started reading about the horrifying, like, invasive species known as the spongy moth. Like, it's very cute. Like, it looks soft. I would pet it if it was, like, dog-sized. It's just, you really, like, if you see one, report it to your Department of Agriculture, please. At least if you're American. If you're European, this is native to where you are, and if you're in Asia, you have the Asian variant of this, which is also native to where you are. It is not native to North America. Bless both of y'all, seriously. I'm glad somebody is willing to listen to me talk about moths for ridiculous amounts of hours. I love animals, and I love animal facts. They're so much fun. The one you're looking at actually is a male. Let me find female. The males are brown and smaller. Female spongies are larger and white, and they look like this. Here we go. Apparently, from what I've read, same book as before, Great Gypsy Moth War. Fantastic book, kind of hard to get your hands on if you're not into college. That has interlibrary loans, but... my brain had a total fart. Oh. Depending on how much research you did on a topic, like, you could just be an expert, at least for entomology. Because entomology was kind of a new subject in the 1800s. Like, people were just, like, locking into that as, like, a scientific specialty. So a lot of people in charge of entomology were economic entomologists. So, like, people who were in the agriculture field who wanted to make sure their trees didn't get murdered. That's actually where Pennsylvania's at right now with their slow the spread efforts. They're just kind of trying to focus on protecting high-value trees because they're just kind of established in every single county in Pennsylvania now. Like, they're just there. Like, they're just a thing that is in Pennsylvania. I will talk about this moth for hours. It is a problem. Like, you cannot say, yes, Himi, talk to me about Lymantria dispar, because I will talk to you. I will talk to you about this moth. I just got my hands on a wonderful scientific article, actually, of somebody who goes over, like, a lot of the bases and then goes into the details of the Slow the Spread program. I also found a wonderful story map, actually, through ArcGIS, going over, like, basic, not as in detail as a scientific paper, but, like, a good amount of overview, which was, like, a great starting point for me when I first was like, what do I learn more about this moth at? Some of the books I've been reading out of, too, oh, I just realized the game has not been the full size this entire time. I just realized that you could see, like, the wallpaper. I will just keep talking about this moth. It's a problem, but... Where was I? My brain just, like, totally farted. Where was I? I noticed that, like, my wallpaper was, like, showing from behind the game. I was like, oh, no. I actually forgot. Oh, the Slow the Spread, the GIS. Okay. Yeah, no, there's a wonderful story map on ArcGIS if you're curious about what's up with this moth. And I want to reach out to the authors. I have not yet. I need to get some more, like, I want to make sure I have more details in order first. But, like, I am so far gone in this. I have reached out to so many societies and entomologists and universities because I need people to talk about this moth with me. It's a documentary. I need to know. I need to have the information. Moth looks cool as fuck. Honestly, I love, like, they're very pretty. The male one is, like, brown and fluffy, but, like, the female is, like, this beautiful thing. Female versus... That's, like, a good picture of both of them. Typically, you don't want to see them in the same room. If you see them in the same room, they've probably bred, and you do not want that. How they go about trapping males is, very, very old school traps would actually... This is not the image link. Okay, copy image address. There we go. Very old school traps would actually just bait it with live females and then, like, trap the males in it that way, but nowadays they've gotten better at, like, pheromone chemicals and things of that nature. That's where I'm at my research right now. Here is this from bugwood.org. The male and the female. The male just looks like very fluffy. Every picture I usually find of it is of the male moth, and like they just look very fluffy. The female moth is like its tall girlfriend, whom says that they forgot pickles on its burger. Like, it's beautiful. Oh, that's the Florida State PowerPoint that I found. I'm trying to find like a good like side view of them next to each other, but like everybody who sees them next to each other, like they're typically not trying to get them to fly away. The caterpillar looks dope as hell. Okay, here's a good with the caterpillar. Because like the caterpillar has these spots on them that make it look like a, it's like it has, how do I describe it? It looks futuristic almost. Like it looks like it has hardware on the back of it. I don't know how to describe it. I just think it looks neat. But if you live in any US state on the East Coast, there is a good chance you might have seen one of these. Let me see. Let me just go to the Slow the Spread website. I'm going to the Slow the Spread website. Slow the Spread map. Moths. Okay, so the Spread program, app and maps. There are apps and maps. Here we go. You know, we can open this in a new tab. We can open this in its own tab. Okay. I'm trying to do this in a way that does not cause problems. I have a better idea. Please do not judge me, but I'm opening this in Microsoft Edge just so I don't accidentally, like, do something stupid. Okay, here we go. For just a second. For just a second. We're gonna open a different thing. Okay. Window capture. Edge. Here we go. Miss Edge. Perfect. That could have gone so much worse, actually. Now that I think about it, that could have gone so much worse, but here we go. This is the Slow the Spread program. I just threw it somewhere. Where did it go? Where did it go? Edge. Oh no! It keeps going into folders it's not supposed to be in. Okay, here we go. Edge. Games. Okay, yes. Microsoft Edge can be a game. There we go. But this is the Slow the Spread trapping archive. Basically just showing where the traps are, where the general like invasion is. So for reference, Boston is where it came from. So anything about here, these guys already got the bug. Like Boston down, they've already got this. They come in resurgence and like massive, like they come in waves every once in a while. Like a couple years ago, it was like the last big spread. Apparently it was like all the rage. People kept like contacting universities like, is this, I found the moth. And all they could really say is, I'm sorry, buddy, but it's established in like literally every single Pennsylvania county. Just, it'll go away. It's gonna go away. Just chill out. Right now, they're actually more freaked out about spiders at the moment. There's like an invasive spider in PA that's like making people act a ruckus, but let me see here. There are multiple kinds of states for Slow the Spread. There are states that already have it established. Like this, it's just there. The bug is there. You can't really do much about it. There are like transition states, and then there are states that do not have it and probably will not need to worry about it for a while. If you live in Colorado, you probably do not care. I'm sorry to anybody who lives in Colorado, but you probably do not care. If you live in, like, West Virginia, you've probably seen one of these bad boys. Slow the Spread has done amazing work, and now they only really, like, it's only, like, a mile or two every year that this, like, grows, rather than, like, what it could be of, like, insanity. There's a reason they've gotten so far in 200 years. Like, it's not a good thing. Where did my tab go? Okay. Okay, apps and maps. Where is... That's the treatments archive. That's the planning dashboard, topic inspection, Slow the Spread. That's the story map. I'm trying to find strategic stream category at this point. I swear we're gonna talk about, we're gonna go back to the game soon, I swear. I'm just really invested in this moth. Smells like a special event. You just can't ask people about like their hyperfixation, because this is what happens. I was given by the Department of Agriculture at one point like a link to all of this data, but like there is so much on this program. Like there's so much you can just have. Like if I go to data, here is all of the traps from 2013. So here we go. This does have like, this has hundreds of thousands. Okay, this is when it's 81,000, but it gets more intense depending on the year. I'm gonna give that a second to load its dots. All of these dots are traps placed to get this moth. It's having a bit of a fit. There we go. So as mentioned, up here, they're already kind of a problem. This is around where the bad boy got introduced. But now, like, slow the spread, like, it is generally around, like, this curve. Like, this is about the area it's at. The real horror is invasive species. It really is, though. These things eat, like, all the hardwood trees. They love them. They eat them, like, so rapidly. They out-eat other moths. Like, the first thought that people had was, let's place chemicals and, like, kill off the moths. But there's other rare moths that you don't want to do that with because you killed those moths off, too. Some of the literature I've read on this, like, some of the books, it's just scientific archives of the moths in their local county areas because they're so worried about what the spongy moth is going to do when it eats out all their food. This moth, man, like, it is everywhere. The spotted lanternfly is, like, the cool new, like, invasive species to think about, but, like, this guy has been here since 1868 or 1860. My brain keeps getting them mixed up. My book's in my backpack, but, like, these have been here since the 1800s, and they are very well known for it. They're everywhere. Like, I'm trying not to just, like, go, this is devolved into moth. This is devolved into moths. There are so many. You can also see where counties, like, do not take part in, like, reporting their slow the spread findings. Yes, all my VODs are on YouTube. I dual stream, so, everything you see is on YouTube, and I make fun thumbnails, or at least I think they're fun thumbnails. If you know anybody who likes moths, let me know. I will talk about moths for hours. Bless. This was my TED Talk. I am working on, like, an actual large-scale media project with this topic. I plan on doing, like, my due date for my capstone for my entire degree is in December, so, like, by then I'll have something for that at the very least, but, like, this is just my hyper topic. I will, like, you can't get me started about this. I will talk about it. I will not shut up about it. I have 50 pages of notes, and I still have, like, a list of, like, 60 different tabs of different, like, university websites, ArcGIS data that I want to peruse. There's so much. Bless. I have a problem. When I get too focused on something, I get aggressively focused on something. In this case, the problem is I'm being focused for, like, my excuse right now is that I'm using it for my degree, but I was obsessed about this long before my degree. What's up, Crooked Gamer? Tangents upon tangents. Talking about moths. Have you ever seen this guy? I don't know where you live. I don't know. I have, like, a very, like, I'm really happy with the fact that I have a pretty worldwide audience. So, like, I don't know. Some people have seen this. If you're in North America, it's for bad reasons. If you're in Asia or Europe, it just kind of exists because that's where it's from. But, like, this bad boy, Lymantria dispar. I love Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera are my favorite now. It is the only kind of insect I think I have a right to care about at this point. Although beetles are also pretty sick, but, like, Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera is moths and butterflies. So, butterflies, obviously they have, like, they are the pretty ones. They have the pretty privilege. Everybody looks at a butterfly and goes, oh my god, it's a butterfly. Get your phone, it's so pretty. And if people think about moths and go, ah, yeah, they eat. They eat my dresses. Like, that's what they think about when they think about, like, they think about moths. But moths are so cool. Have you seen some moths? Like, I'm obsessed with the spongy moth. Like, that is my obsession. Why a demon and not a moth? I actually, me and Shoji started Brimtone before I had this obsession. And I did give serious thought when I made the new models. Like, do I want to go for more of an animals theme? Because animal facts in general are what a lot of people know me for, like, in real life. And moths are, like, my PhD level research. But, like, listen, there's so many cool moths though. Here, we're gonna pull this back up for a second. No, image and browser, I want that one. There's so many cool moths. I think the one that a lot of people know about is the Death's Head moth. And, like, this is the one that you'll see, like, people get tattoos of and stuff like that. Here, let me copy image address. We're talking about moths again for a second. This is the Death's Head moth. It is very cool. It has a skull out of the back of its head. It's very neat. Okay, here's another one. Like, think about that. Like, that's such a cool moth. It's such a cool moth. But the other one that's really pretty is the Smoky Emperor moth. Here's another cool moth. I will just, like, I'm trying not to run through them all like rapid fire, but, like, that's the Death's Head moth. This is the Smoky Emperor moth. It's very, like, illustrious and pretty. I love it to pieces. It's very, very pretty. Then there's the Luna moth. I am sure... Okay, here we go. Copy image dress. So this is the Smoky Emperor one last time. Take a look. Very, very pretty, very regal. Would make a lovely evening dress. If I ever sit down to do formal wear for, like, whatever reason is, like, an outfit on this model, understand it will be based off that moth, but... Then there's the Luna moth, which looks like something straight out of, like... It looks like it came out of Genshin Impact. Like, if I had to pick a creature that looks like it came out of Genshin Impact, this would be it. Visual novel tropes as moths. Okay, good question, good question. Well, the Death's Head is obviously, that's gotta be, like, the angsty loner kid. Like, that's the one who plays the guitar. They smoke when they're not supposed to in school, and they talk back to the teachers, but really they're just sad inside, they need fixed. The Smoky Emperor moth, I feel like that has to be the mysterious, but like a cool mysterious. Like, they're kind of quiet, but they dress really cool, and, like, you want to get to know them better, but you don't know how to start the conversation. You can fix them. You can fix them. If I had to pick one for the Luna moth, it's definitely beautiful. Like, if I had to pick one, this would definitely be, like, the class pretty. This would be the one, like, everybody thinks of because they're just so pretty. What was the name of the... It was the Rosy Maple Moth. That's what I'm thinking of. Rosy Maple Moth. And then there's the Rosy Maple Moth. I'm showing you real bugs, by the way. These are real insects that exist. Next up, we're going to talk about the Rosy Maple Moth. Copy image address. This is the Rosy Maple Moth. If I had to pick one for this one, if you ever watched My Hero Academia, it's the pink girl from that. Very friendly, popular with everyone, just very sweet. She's a cutie. These really are dress designs. There are so many good moths out there. Like, there are so many good moths. I have a problem. I already assumed she was a moth. Honestly, that is a good point. She was, like, the first My Hero character I ever drew fan art of. Like, now that I actually think, oh god, how far back does this go? Oh no. How far back does this go? Have I always been a moth kid? My Hero came out, I was still a teenager. Oh god. What are some other good moths? Other good moths. There's, like, a lot of really, really good moths, and I'm trying to think of, like, my favorite ones. I gave you, like, a list of some of my, like, the top contenders for cool moths. Here we go. Here's a list of moths in Texas for some reason. Have I heard of any of these? Oh, the rustic sphinx moth! The rustic sphinx moths! Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, okay. This is a creature. The rustic sphinx moth. The rustic sphinx moth apparently lives in Texas. I did not know that. Some things I just know because they're pretty or cool, and I just remember the cool designs of moths. I love moths, but if I had to give him a design, that's something big. This is indeed a creature. Silver-haired girl who likely has magic powers. I think that actually would go to the female spongy. The creature on the screen right now, I don't know, I feel like this has like, at least what comes to mind at first for me is the kids who always wear camouflage every day in school, but that's not a very visual novel. But if I had to pick like the pretty silver hair with like magic powers, it would be the female spongy moth. Like, look at the female spongy moth. It's pretty. It's simple but pretty. It is snow white. She has beautiful markings on her wings. Her neck fluff is very fluffy and pretty. I'm trying not to just straight up draw a diagram of a moth right now, but like, it's a very pretty moth. There's like a better... Okay, that is a male one. We don't care about the male one right now. We're trying to find a female one. All the good side shots are of the males. Where's a good female picture? That sounds awful out of context. I'm trying to find a good picture of like, okay. How about this? Female Lymantria dispar. Okay, here we go. Can I have a side shot of this freaking thing? No, but I do have a prettier picture of what this pattern can look like. This is a moth stream now. What has happened? This is why I should not be allowed to run things. But like, look at that. That is such a pretty, it's just such a pretty moth. Such a pretty moth. Again, if you see either of these two and you live in North America, tell your Department of Agriculture. Depending on the state you live in, they really want to know that information. This is a very invasive species. But also, she pretty. She pretty. That is the problem. Other good moths. Yeah, if you just look up Lepidoptera, they're like, again, Lepidoptera. Everybody thinks about butterflies. Don't get me wrong. The monarch butterfly is an icon. We all know what a monarch butterfly looks like. But have you ever considered the Luna moth? She cute though. I can fix her. I can fix her. I can fix her. They actually use again, they don't do it anymore in most cases. That was like really, really, really early days, but they used live females as bait for traps. I don't think they use live females anymore. That's where I'm at with my research. I'm reading about different trapping methods used for Lymantria dispar. Because it turns out that when you have an extremely invasive species that eats most of your plants, it shares a lot of those. It eats a lot of the same plants as other stuff. And when it's really not picky, like Lymantria dispar, that's a problem. Again, the fact that researchers sat down and wrote detailed accounts of how many of each insect, when it was discovered, and what insects were in hyper-specific to the county areas, because they were afraid of their local, like, native fauna being decimated by food competition with these moths, really says something. Like, they are very, very, very invasive. I've reached out to a few Department of Agricultures now. I've hit up a couple. I want to hit up others. I've been going through my contact list in bursts, so I don't have like my worst best case scenario is like everybody I ever email gets back to me, but that would also mean that everybody who ever emailed me but got back to me at the same time, I would crumble. I have a detailed spreadsheet of everybody I've contacted, what I would like to ask them about, and like everywhere I can contact them at. Just so I don't forget, but I've been doing it in bursts, just so I have like a manageable workload of like, oh, this person from the university or whatever said they'd speak with me. Hell yeah! It's just easier. I'm, is that a cop car? So that's pretty much the end. There was random yapping in there about other things, but otherwise it was pretty much like 40 minutes straight of just me talking about my favorite kind of moth. There was more yaps to that stream, but it was all more based on Slitherwing the Pokemon, who is he's a fantasy moth, so he doesn't really count in this conversation. He is still beautiful, though. I will get back with the silly drawing soon, and who knows, I might actually make a proper video about Lymantria Dispar.